Week 11 of the fantasy basketball season. And if you need some help here before the All-Star break, and right now you need some centers, here's a few centers you should look to add on waivers this week. The first guy is Robert Williams of the Boston Celtics. So Robert Williams, he's been a hot pickup now over the last couple weeks. And last week I recommended him as a waiver wire ad. And once again this week I'm going to recommend him again. On the season, he's ranked 96th in fantasy basketball, 6.6 points a game, 5.7 rebounds, 1.4 blocks a game, 1 steal a game, 1 assist, a whopping 71% from the field, and 62% from the foul line. But the last couple weeks, his rankings definitely jumped up to 70th overall, 8.3 points a game, 7 rebounds, 1.6 assists, 1.1 steals, and 2 blocks, 72% from the field for Robert Williams. The only problem with him, this Celtic team, for whatever reason, they don't play this guy major minutes. And when he plays the big minutes, this team's been winning some ball games as Williams. And Williams, he's going to help in field goal. He's going to help rebound. And he blocks shots. And he gets a steal also a game for a center. And he's available still in 58% of fantasy leagues. The last couple games, he's been pretty decent. February 24th at Atlanta. 6 points, 4 rebounds, an assist and a block. February 26th versus the Pacers, 14 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, 3 blocks, and he did play 22 minutes. And then last night versus Washington, 6 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal in 18 minutes. So the only thing with Williams, you want to see the minutes go up for him because the production definitely goes up, and hopefully this Celtic team, after the All-Star break, unleashes him and plays him 25 or 30 minutes a game. But at this point, he's definitely still worth an ad and a guy to stash because I think big things are going to happen here for Robert Williams, and you want to get ahead of the curve with him right now. The next center is Isaiah Stewart of the Detroit Pistons. So a lot of Pistons this week are recommended ads on the waiver wire, and the Pistons, they're going with a youth movement. They're the worst team in the Eastern Conference, I believe, this season. So we're going to see guys like Dennis Smith, Saban Lee, Isaiah Stewart, Josh Jackson, Sadiq Bey play some major minutes for this ball club. And Isaiah Stewart, he looks like a big-time player here for this team, a defensive enforcer, a big body down low that you really can't move. And he reminds me a little of Ben Wallace, believe it or not, is Isaiah Stewart, seeing him play and the way he moves and stuff. And on the season, he's ranked 203 on the season with 5.3 points a game, 5.8 rebounds, a block a game, and he's shooting 54% from the field. So this guy, he's got a knack for defense. He's got a knack for rebounding. And in the last couple weeks, since his playing time's gone up, he's putting up some good numbers. 6.3 points a game, 8.3 rebounds, 1.3 steals a game, 1.3 blocks, and 75% from the field for Stewart. So if you need center help, this guy, I think he's a good ad. He's playing anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes a game over the last few games here. And I think this team, they're just going to unleash them and see what they got. I know they got Mason Plumlee at center, but Stewart, I believe, should play 25, 30 minutes a game. And he's an electrifying ball player off the bench. And we've seen it the last few games. February 24th in New Orleans, 11 points, 10 rebounds, 2 steals, a block. February 26th versus the Kings, 6 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block. And then last night versus the New York Knicks, 4 points, 10 rebounds, a steal, and 2 blocks. So he's going to help you in rebounding. He's been getting double-digit rebounds now in his last 3 games. And I see this continuing to happen here for Stewart. He just has to get his points up a little, but everything else, he's pretty solid, and he's definitely worth an ad, and he's available in 93% of fantasy leagues. The next center is Jakob Pulte of the San Antonio Spurs. So Pulte, I think this is the 3rd week in a row here. He's been on this waiver wire list, and he's still available in 50% of fantasy leagues. So I'm going to keep talking about him on the waiver wire until he gets added, is Pulte. On the season, he's ranked 161 with 6.4 points a game, 7.2 rebounds, 1.5 blocks a game, 2 assists a game, 60% from the field. And the last couple weeks, he's ranked 102 now, is Pulte, with 6.5 points a game, 10 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 2.5 blocks, and 50% from the field. So he's going to block shots. He's going to get some rebounds. He's going to have a pretty decent field goal percentage. San Antonio Spurs team, they're playing good. Popovich, he likes what he's getting by Pulte, and he's going to keep him in the starting lineup and see what he could do here for his team and if he can help his team win games. And right now he's playing 25, 30 minutes a game. I don't see them benching him at all, and he's probably the best center on this ball club. So Pop believes in him, and fantasy owners should too. And the last few games for him: February 24th at the Thunder, 7 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks. February 27th versus the Pelicans, 6 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and 3 blocks. So he's putting up those low points, high rebounds, and he's getting the block shots and a couple steals here. And he's definitely worth an ad. The next center is Avika Zubach of the Los Angeles Clippers. So Zubach, he's a player with total high upside, but he's been a roller coaster ride to own in fantasy leagues the last couple seasons is Zubach, but we know his potential. The Clippers obviously like him, but they're just not finding huge playing time for him. He's only playing about 15, 20 minutes a game right now. Izubak on the season, he's ranked 136 with 8.1 points a game, 6.7 rebounds, 1.1 assists, 81% from the foul line, which is pretty impressive for a big man, and 66% from the field. In the last couple weeks, the numbers they've bumped up just a bit: 8.8 points a game, 7.6 rebounds, 1.3 assists, 75% from the foul line, and a whopping 70% from the field. So Zubach, he's not going to have huge games. I think Stewart and Pulte are guys you'd rather have on your team in fantasy than Zubach, but Zubach, he still could have the big games like I said, but the consistency and the minutes played have been an issue. And in the last 3 games, you could tell here by the game log, it's just not consistent. February 25th at Memphis, 7.6 rebounds, 2 blocks and assists. Then February 26th at Memphis again, 3 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. And then last night in a tough loss to the Bucks, he only played 15 minutes, 2 points, 2 rebounds, and a steal. So Zubach, you just got to be patient with him. I think the playing time's going to go up, and we've seen big games from him the last couple games before the last 3, but I think he's definitely worth an ad, and he's available in 61% of fantasy leagues. And the 5th and final center to add on waivers this week's Naz Reid of the Minnesota Timberwolves. So Naz Reid, he's not going away. I thought once Karl Anthony Towns would come back, Naz Reid would play 15, 20 minutes with no meaning, but right now he's had a couple big games over the last few weeks, even with Towns back in the lineup now. I believe for the last 2 weeks on the season, he's ranked 118 is Naz Reid, 12 points a game, 4.8 rebounds, 1.3 assists, 1.2 blocks, 72% from the foul line, 51% from the field is Reid. And the last couple weeks since Towns been back, his production's pretty much been up to par. 11 points a game, 3.5 rebounds, 1.5 blocks, 1.5 assists, and 51% from the field. And Reid, he's available in 75% of fantasy leagues. And like I'm saying, he's playing the 15 to 20 minutes a game, but it's meaning behind it. And in his last 3 ball games, believe it or not, Naz Reid, he's got 35 shot attempts in these 3 games. So February 24th to Chicago, 13 points, 4 rebounds, 3 blocks, and a steal on a 3. February 27th at Washington, 17 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists, a steal, and a block. And then versus Phoenix last night, 9 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block. So he's still getting his numbers. He's a decent rebounder. He could hit a 3 a game, but he's a shot blocker as well. And he could definitely help fantasy teams in 12-team leagues or deeper, in my opinion. So that's a few centers I would look to add on the waiver wire here in Week 11 of the fantasy basketball season.